So you know how a lot of veteran actors are now coming back. I think there's a comeback in Nollywood now where a lot of veteran actors are coming back to, grace our screens again with amazing movies. And it's good to see. And I mean, for this particular movie, I like that this is one actor that I haven't seen in a long time, or in a long time in a major movie. I've seen him in, a few movies here and there, but it's been a while that I've seen him in a major movie, and it was nice to have him back on set. Hi guys, you're welcome to another episode of Relufe Review, and this is where we review the Nigerian art, music, movies, and of course entertainment in general. Now, like I always say, anything that you hear me say here is all my personal opinion and all my personal bias. It's not based off on any standard or on any measures. My name is AY with a double O, and let's get straight to the movie that we're going to be reviewing today. Today's movie is a Prime Amazon movie, and it was directed by Ruben Renk. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This is the first time I'm hearing of that name and, that director. I do not know who that is, but of course, let's get straight to the movie. The movie is titled Katangari Goes to Town. Like I said earlier, I like the comeback of some veteran actors, and it was good to see Segun Arinze grace our screens again. And of course, different from the usual Segun Arinze. The Segun Arinze that I'm used to is that bald, man. But seeing him with hair on his head, and of course, I mean, the gray hair thing, gray beards, it was catchy. It was really catchy. And when I saw the poster, I'm like, I'm going to watch this and, find out what happened. And I also like the character that he played. So I'm going to talk quickly about the plot of Katangari Goes to Town. For the plot of Katangari Goes to Town tells the story of Katangari, a retired police inspector who had been called to Abuja. He stays in the northern part of Nigeria and had been called to Abuja to come and solve the murder case of his cousin, Chief Bello. And I like that. I like the first few scenes. I like the introduction into Wu. And there was a bit of suspense there, I didn't really understand what his character was all about. Initially I thought he was into something shady, and eventually seeing, and I think that was the only suspense for me in the movie. The first few scenes where we were introduced to Katangari, played by Segun Arinze, and, he was trying to, catch some thieves. I really wasn't sure about what was going on there, and that was the suspense for me in the movie. But subsequently, I think I could predict what happened next and what would happen next. So it was to come to Abuja, or he came to Abuja, was called upon to come to Abuja to solve the murder case of his cousin. And upon getting there, there's more to than what meets the eye. That's just how I'll put it. In solving a murder case, I think from watching a lot of murder movies, I think you'll be able to tell and predict that it's always the person that you do not pay attention to that is always, the killer, and which is what happens, in most movies, especially for Nollywood movies. That's how it, plays out. But for this particular movie, I would say that the killer was rather predictable. For me, I don't know about other people. I had to just look closely and look at that one person that had less focus, and which was Chief Bello's personal assistant. From the 5th, 6th scene, I could tell that she was the one. I do not know about others, but I think they did not really do justice to suspense in the movie. So it was to come to Abuja to find out who killed his cousin, and he was able to do that. And it's a murder story. It revolves around murder, family, deceits. That's what Katangari Goes to Town, is all about. Katangari, of course, I like the title. Katangari, leaving the northern part, which was portrayed, as a rural area, and coming to town, like coming to the city. But of course, it was coming to town to work and work for family. And it just shows how far we would, go for family. Regardless of how hard-headed Katangari was, he still showed up for family. I think that he was put in a bit of a fix. He didn't have a choice. But at the end of the day, family is always family. And that's what Katangari Goes to Town is all about. So let's go straight to the major highlights in this movie for me. So I like the mysterious murder thing. I like that. I love murder movies, anything that revolves around murder, because it helps you think. It's beyond just watching a movie. You're also on your toes. You're trying to find out who the killer is, and all of that. So I'm trying to wonder, okay, is this person, especially watching a family where you're arguing and trying to find out, all of that good stuff. I like that about this movie. I like that, it's around the murder case and trying to resolve or find out who the killer is. That was one major highlight for me in the movie. Another would be Katangari's investigation. I like that a retired police investigator, who now happens to be the cousin to the dead in question, in quote rather, is the one trying to solve this case. And apart from Katangari just being a cousin to Chief Bello, it was also what we saw in the first few scenes was that it was good, at what it does or what it did, back then. And it's still good. Of course, it still does a little bit of, investigative policing here and there. And I mean, for him to be called to Abuja by now, one interesting part of this movie is that Chief Bello himself knew that somebody wanted to kill him, and it was the one that summoned, pre his death, had made a video to call upon Katangari to find out, who the killer is. And of course, by the time Katangari was seeing that video, Chief Bello was gone. So I like, Katangari's investigation and all of that in the movie. Another thing I love about this movie is that if you look at the movie, every character in that movie was suspicious. Every character. Now, it's different from the usual, and that's a twist to it, if you ask me. It's different from you watching the normal murder story where you're saying that, okay, maybe they're suspecting people at his workplace, but this is the first movie I think I'm seeing that has a cast of suspicious character. Everybody involved in that movie was a suspect, down to the cook, down to the cleaner, down to everybody in the house in the movie was a suspect. I don't think there was one character that wasn't a suspect, except for Katangari, the inspector. And I'll also say that at that point, I mean, from the viewer's perspective, Katangari is also a suspect. So this is a cast of suspicious characters. Another and the final highlight for me in this movie will be Katangari's sharp wit. Now, towards the mid the movie, we saw Katangari losing up, away from that inspector, retired inspector that he was, away from, that police character. I saw him losing up and start to even talk to these suspicious characters. He started to losing up with his cousin's ex-wife, Mima. We saw that. Even started to talk to the children and started to, start to build like that relationship that he had with them again. And in all of this, he did not lose his sharp wit. Even when he became friends with Chief Bello's PA, before even finding out that she was the one, that killed Chief Bello, I like his sharp wit, in the movie. But overall, I would say that there was no suspense sort of in the film. They could have done a bit with a bit of suspense, it would have made us, I don't know. I think it was easy for me. I could tell Chief Bello's PA gave herself away because she was too good. So for me, the goody two shoes, you would always, be the suspect. That's my own perspective of watching modern movies. I don't know if that works for you. Let's talk about standout performances for me in this movie. Segun Arinze playing the role of Katangari already bought my heart in this movie. I mean, it was a compelling delivery. He bodied that role. What I did not like about his not about his character, about his looks, was that gray hair thing going on here. I could not also really place the age that they were trying to portray Segun Arinze to be. Now, they were calling old man, but here we have well, I'll say for their culture, it might not be demanding of them to be so respectful. Here we have his cousin's ex-wife, Mima, referring to him as Katangari. And I would also guess that he's probably the same age as his cousin will be. So I don't think he should be that old. But considering that he's a retired inspector and the stress that he must have gone through while in service, I think he deserves all the gray hair. But it was just too fake. For me, it was too fake. Ireti Doll played the role of Mima, and she was one complex character, if you ask me, in the movie. I also like that she was a bit dramatic. He added that humor and a bit of comedy sort of to the movie. And I was beginning to think that she was still in a relationship with her ex-husband. I was hoping they revealed that was later in the movie, but we didn't see any of that, meaning that she wasn't. And towards the end of the movie, at the end of the movie, she didn't even get anything from her ex-husband. And they also told us a story where she had squandered money given to her by her ex-husband. I think that she must have squandered like a whole lot of money for him not to even give her a penny. She must have squandered a whole lot of money. Another notable performance would be the supporting cast. I think each and every character in that movie added some sort of depth to the movie. We needed the character of the pastor being the pastor. I think we needed the character of that his colleague as well. And, it's more of an association of friends and family. And I think they had the right number of people. I like that we did not have, so many people all up at once. At least I could count about, 8 to 10 people, which is fair enough if you ask me. Those are my major stand-up performances in the movie. Now, let me talk about the flaws in this movie. Few errors here and there. I do not like the makeup, like I said earlier, for Katangari. I do not like the gray hair thing. It was too fake. The beards, the white hair was a bit unrealistic. I think they could have done better with it. Now, for the plot twist, like I said, the suspense did not do justice for me. I think that for the person that killed Chief Bello, who was his PA, I think the only thing that I didn't see coming was the reason why. Motive. I didn't see motive. I would have thought that she was probably in a relationship with him, or had gotten pregnant for him, or he was trying to, tell her to abort a baby or something. That's what would have come to mind. So apart from motive, I guessed that she was the one that killed the chief. I think there were so many realistic things happening here and there. Another thing were bits of some unnecessary scenes, like the scene where Katangari was loosening up with Chief Bello's ex-wife, Mima, the party scene where, it was the kid's birthday and they were dancing together. I think they didn't really, and they were trying to also show us like a bond between Mima and Katangari. I don't think that those scenes were particularly needed, in the movie, because at the end of the day, Katangari is still like, no matter how you try to, I know, like, well, for the sake of, like, for old time's sake, I'm still going to be Katangari to you, but it doesn't mean that you're still not a suspect. So at that point, it felt like they were trying to buy Katangari, and he did now put her in the position of a suspect. Like, okay, did you do something for you to be trying to just be on the good side of this person? And of course, like I said, suspense. I don't think that the suspense was enough. I don't think that it was enough. That's all Katangari Goes to Town is all about. For the acting, for the theme, for the attraction. The attraction in the movie, of course, for me was what it was centered, around, and what the movie portrayed. But like I said, the suspense would have been, they could have done better with the suspense. For the acting, the theme, for the plot, and for the attraction, I'll give it a 6/10. For the editing, the cinematography, I think it was just flat. It was just there. There was nothing special to look forward to, or the soundtrack, or any of that. It was just flat. It was just there. I'll give it a 6/10 as well. But for the comeback and seeing Segun Arinze in, a movie after a while, I mean, I love it. And I like the combination of actors, some old, some new. I like the mix. I like the blend. But I think that the suspense could have been better. If it was just a normal romance or any other, or thriller movie, or just, any other kind of movie out there, maybe it would have got a better rating from this end. But from this end, I'll give it a 6/10. I do not know who the director is, but it's a beautiful movie. It's on Prime Amazon. It's a 6/10 from this end. It's good to go. If you want to watch a murder movie and you just want something interesting to watch with friends, to watch with families, you can watch Katangari Goes to Town. But I don't think it's a movie that will really keep you on your toes. And also, if you're a lover of Segun Arinze, go ahead and watch Katangari Goes to Town. It's a good to go movie from this end. So let me know what you think about Katangari Goes to Town in the comment box. If you have seen it, if you have not seen it, let me know what you think about it. If there's any movie you want for us to review at RelufeTV, please drop it in the comment box as well. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe across all social media platforms. It is at RelufeTV. My name is AY with the double O, and of course, I'll be joining you on another episode.